Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. It is Terrific Tuesday, and we're just so grateful that God has blessed us to be alive to see a new day. I want to take a quick moment of personal privilege. I want to say happy birthday to my great nephew, Joshua Michael Gatling. Can you believe I have a great nephew? Yes, I am that old, and I'm just so grateful. Joshua, just want to tell you happy birthday, and we're so grateful for you. Today in Black History, on February the 22nd in 1989, DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince won their first Grammy for the hit single Parents Just Don't Understand. That's Jeff Towns and Will Smith. We're so grateful how they turned everything around and how he went to House Party and all the other things that God blesses us to do. We're just so grateful how all of us, when we were younger, you played that song at every party you went to. So we want to say thank you so very much, because many of us thought parents didn't understand, but they understood more than we ever would have imagined. Look with me into the Word of God, and let's try to get a good understanding of what God has in store for us. In 1 Samuel, the 24th chapter, this entire chapter is so powerful. And today, if you will take a moment and read it, you'll find out just how powerful it is. This finds itself nestled in the scriptures that Saul, that great king, he finds himself now hiding out in a cave. But he has no idea that David was already in the cave with his men a little bit deeper. There was this thing going on between Saul and David. Now, remember, Saul was the king of Israel, and David was this little boy who was good friends with Saul's son, Jonathan. And they had this endeared relationship. And for some reason, Saul now starts to have this jealousy towards David, because Saul has killed thousands, attributed to having killed thousands in his military conquests. But people were saying David had killed tens of thousands. So they had this thing that was going on, and Saul wanted to bring harm to David, but David had no ill intent towards Saul. This was his good friend, his best friend's dad. This was the king, the leader. He would do him no harm. So David now finds himself that he and his men are deeper into the cave, and they are now about to leave. And they're moving about with the greatest amount of caution and silence. And David does something to prove to Saul that he wants to bring no harm to him. As David is about to escape from the cave, Saul and his men are a little bit closer towards the entrance. David and his men quietly get by. I don't know how they managed to do that, but they did. And David proves something to Saul, that Saul, I have no hatred towards you. I only have love and goodwill towards you. So what David does, he takes his sword, he cuts off a piece of Saul's robe, and he leaves. And now he sends word back to Saul, and he tells Saul, Saul, I want you to know that I have no harm, no intent, no malice towards you. And to show you, I could have, if I had the opportunity, and I did have the opportunity, I could have taken your life, but I chose not to. He said, look at the cloak. Look at your garment. You're missing a piece of cloth. I cut it off, and I have it in my possession. And now Saul realizes that David has no ill for him. You know, my brothers and sisters, that story becomes a story to remind all of us that there are people who will bring us ill, but God tells us in his word to be not overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good. We have opportunities in the world in which we live, all that's going on, that even when people do ill towards us, we can return by doing good. Let's look at the history of this country. Look at the history of African Americans. We could have taken opportunities to do evil to people, but God said, do what is right, to do good. We're grateful for all the contributions that have been made to all people in all lands. Now let's all of us do something personally. Let's not take vengeance to be something that we exact, but let's leave that in the hands of God. Let's do the right thing. Let's make sure that we don't turn a sword for a sword, but let's most of all show that we want to bring peace and we'd like to have reconciliation in this world. Wouldn't it be great if the whole world felt that way? Then we can have some great peace. Now, may God bless you. May God's peace forever keep you. And may your minds always be stayed on him. May God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. And this year of 2022, God has a blessing in store for you. And we'll see you on tomorrow.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.